Today we're going to do sign identities, and these identities are very similar to yesterday. Again, you'll have two equations. You'll be given them on the Regents exam as well as for upcoming exams, and we just have to know how to use them. So we have the sign sum identity and the sign difference identity. The first problem we have, it says find sine A plus B for 180 and 60 degrees. So let's plug in. Everywhere we see an A, we're going to put a 180, and everywhere we see a B, we're going to put a 60. So it's going to be sine 180 plus 60 is equal to sine 180 sine 60. I'm sorry, look at the new formula. Doesn't let me erase. Alright, scribble it out. Cos 60 plus cos 180 sine 60. Making sure your calculator is in degrees, you type each one individually. Sine 180 is 0. Cos 60 is 1/2. Cos 180 is -1. Sine 60 is radical 3/2. 0 times 1/2 is 0. -1 times radical 3/2 is negative radical 3/2. 0 minus radical 3/2 is negative radical 3/2. I'm going to have you guys try the radian one. Just make sure, same idea, just make sure your calculator is in radians to start. And to practice a radian one, just like yesterday, let's do the second one for sine A minus B. Anywhere I see an A, I'm going to replace it with a pi. Anywhere I see a B, I'm going to replace it with 2 pi over 3. Looking at my difference identity this time, it's going to be sine pi cos 2 pi over 3 minus cos pi sine 2 pi over 3. Sine pi is equal to 0. Cos 2 pi over 3 is -1/2. Cos pi is -1. Sine 2 pi over 3 is radical 3/2. 0 times -1/2 is 0. -1 times radical 3/2 is negative radical 3/2, but you have a minus already, so it's going to be plus radical 3/2. 0 plus radical 3/2 is radical 3/2. So again, I'm going to skip that first one. You try that one in degrees. Please make sure your calculator's in degrees for that one. Moving on. Find the exact value of sine 15 using this identity. So it's going to be sine 45 minus 30 is how I start. Plug a 45 in for A and a 30 in for B. Sine 45 cos 30 minus cos 45 sine 30. Sine 45 is equal to radical 2/2. Cos 30 is radical 3/2. Cos 45 is radical 2/2. Sine 30 is 1/2. Radical 2 times radical 3 is radical 6/4. Minus radical 2 times 1 is radical 2/4. As one fraction, this is radical 6 minus radical 2/4. So very similar to yesterday. Part A also says use the value of sine 15, what we just found, to find sine 165 using that difference identity. So it says take sine 180 minus 15. Plug in. Sine 180 cos 15 minus cos 180 sine 15. Sine 180 is equal to 0. Cos 15, well, we don't have it. And it's a decimal we don't know, 0.9659. But again, it's not going to matter too much because we already have this times 0. So it's just going to be a 0. Minus cos 180 is a -1. Sine 15, well, we have it. It's radical 6 minus radical 2/4. 0 times 0.9659 is 0. So we have a negative or minus negative 1, which will just be positive. 1 times radical 6 minus radical 2 over 4. So final answer is going to be radical 6 minus radical 2 over 4. Alright, and the last one says find the exact value of sine 315. Remember, when it doesn't tell you which ones to use, these are our options. We have 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, 180, and 270. We need to pick two numbers that either add or subtract to 315. In this case, I know 270 and 45 add to 315. So, using my sum identity now, since I had to add, it's going to be sine 270 cos 45 plus cos 270 sine 45. Sine 270 is equal to negative 1. Cos 45 is radical 2 over 2. Cos 270 is 0. Sine 45 is radical 2 over 2. Negative 1 times radical 2 over 2 is negative radical 2 over 2. 0 times radical 2 over 2 is 0. So final answer is just negative radical 2 over 2. At this point, you can do the skipped problems.